We know that summertime is that time of year when you can throw about anything that you want, but there are a few lures that I'm going to go to before all others. Today I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite summer lures, the ones that I'm going to have tied on most of the time in July, August, and September. And I've chosen these lures because year after year they produce bass. Number 1 for me personally has got to be a swim jig. Why? Because I can cover a ton of water with it. I can parallel that shoreline, throw that thing a country mile and bring it back to the boat so it's in the strike zone all the time. I can easily hit all parts of the water column. I can fish it quicker and stay up near the top. I can really slow it down, fish it near the bottom, and it comes through all sorts of cover really well. I can pull it through the weeds, I can work it through a brush pile, I can run it parallel down a lay down log, I can skip it up underneath docks. It just is one of those lures that I can keep that one bait tied on and really do about anything. And I don't know about you, but for me, a swim jig consistently gets some of the most vicious strikes that I will get above all other lures. So number 1 choice, by far and away for me personally, is a swim jig. Number 2 has got to be a buzzbait. My first reason for fishing a buzzbait in the summertime is it just seems to draw better strikes. It is historically known as a big fish lure. Also, the buzzbait has really kind of fallen out of favor for more trendy types of topwathers. The whopper plopper comes to mind. Excellent lure, lots of people throwing it, but I could go out on the lake on a summer afternoon or evening and I might just be the only one out there throwing a buzzbait. Well, any time that I can throw something different, that is a huge, huge plus. And a buzzbait in the summertime can also be fished all day long. It's not just a low light type of a bait for, mornings and evenings. I can use that buzz bait and come over the tops of, vegetation that's just under the surface. I can throw it over brush piles. I can run it down the length of lay down logs. It's just an excellent lure to use all summer long. And like I said, probably my number 1 reason for having a buzz bait tied on is it tends to draw strikes from bigger fish. Number 3 for my summertime fishing is going to be some sort of Texas rigged soft plastic. Now often that's going to be a worm, but boy, a creature bait or a craw is right up there at the top for me as well. In the summertime, bass like to get buried up in that cover to get out of that direct sunlight. Well, a Texas rigged soft plastic is a perfect choice for that situation because it's weedless, you can work it through brush without any trouble, and it's a great option for skipping up underneath just big massive docks where those bass could be 30 feet away from the front of the dock. They're just way up underneath there in the shade. A Texas rigged soft plastic is an excellent choice in the summer. Number 4 for my summertime lure has got to be the drop shot. It just catches fish. Now, probably maybe one of the only downsides to a drop shot is it catches a lot of small fish as well. So you may have to fish through 20 or 30 small fish to get a couple good bites, but I'm okay with that as well. But a drop shot is one of those lures that I know that even on the most difficult days, when the sun is the highest, the water is the calmest, the sky is the bluest, I know that a drop shot is going to be a setup that will get bites, and it'll catch smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass. Yeah, I've caught all kinds of bluegills and rock bass and walleye and all kinds of stuff on a drop shot rig. It's just so good. It has to be tied onto my spinning rod all summer long. Another plus of fishing the drop shot rig is we can turn it into a power shot by putting on a heavy weight. No longer is this just a rig that I can just, fish very slowly in a specific spot. With a heavy weight on there, like a ½ ounce, I can just work right down that shoreline and use this drop shot rig as a tool to locate and search for bass as well. So that's a huge plus in the summertime, especially on a body of water you may not be familiar with. And my 5th lure that I'm going to have tied on in the summertime has got to be a Squarebill. There's always fish that are shallow, and when you burn a Squarebill, the drawing power that this thing has will pull bass out of the depths as well. A Squarebill, I can run into anything at full steam, and whether it's a log or rip it through some weeds or just pound it through rocks. Speaking of rocks, if I can get on a river that has a lot of riprap, wow, then the Squarebill is going to jump from number 5 all the way to number 1. It's just a lure that gets fish to bite no matter what the water temperature is. If it's cloudy or sunny, Squarebill is just an excellent choice in rivers when you have got rocks. So it's going to be tied on for sure, because I love to fish shallow. Now, speaking of the drop shot or the power shot rig, if you want to check out a video about how to set that up and fish it, go ahead and check this one out right here, and make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.